Another entry in the daily fingerpicking series. This is a short little exercise that I call Tuesday. This is in the key of D and uses mostly normal shapes of chords in the key of D with one variation and exception. So you're going to see D chords, G chords. Most of the G's, all I'm doing is getting my third finger down on the third fret of the sixth string because I don't have too much else that has to happen. And some A7 chords, and the A7s I'm going to play with my second and third fingers. So we need to get that in there. And then we've got an E minor chord that I'm going to play with just my second finger on the fourth string because in most fingerpicking songs like this, when you're on an E minor chord, you're going to be alternating back and forth between the sixth and fourth strings. So it's not important and generally unnecessary to have any finger on the fifth string. So in most of these fingerpicking tunes that I put together, when you've got a sixth string bass note, you never need to have a finger on the fifth string. That goes for G chords. You don't normally need anything else on the fifth. E minor chords, D's with F sharps in the bass, and F chords, which we're not going to see in this song because we're in the key of D. So the first two chords are a little unusual, though, and I'll just show you those, and then we'll kind of break the whole thing down just around the corner. And that is, it's going to open up with a three-string version of what would be a bar chord. A bar chord up at the fifth fret in an A shape would give us a D, but all we need is the top three strings. So I'm going to be playing my first finger at the fifth fret of the first string, and then my third and fourth fingers at the seventh fret of the second and third strings. This is another way of playing D that you could use if one person's playing the D down here in first position, you could play it up here in fifth position. The second chord in the song, we're just taking that same shape and sliding it down to the third fret to give us what amounts to being a C chord, but with D in the bass. Then we go to a regular open D, and then our G and A7. So that's pretty much what happens in the A section of the song. And again, this, as most of the songs in the daily series here, fall into a category of 2 8-measure sections where you play the A section twice, then the B section, which is a new 8 measures, and then the A section a third time, and that's one time through the whole song. And of course, you could create your own variations and little melodic changes to it and everything there. We have, at one point, only one other chord. And in the B section, we have a G to D with F sharp in the bass. Now, a lot of people play this with their thumb wrapped around the neck, playing the F sharp in the bass. This is not a good time to do that. Because there's a much better alternative that will carry over into more things that you play. And that is, use your second finger on the sixth string at the second fret for the F sharp, your third finger on the third string at the second fret for the A, and then you're going to have an additional melody note, the D, played with your fourth finger. So very important to learn how to play that chord. This is called an inversion, first inversion of a D chord in this case, playing it with your second, third, and fourth fingers. So that's the main other chord that you have to get in there. And then one other little theory background thing. We end the B section on a kind of jazzy chord. I'm calling it A13 because it's basically A7. I'm playing my normal A7, but I've got the melody note F sharp hanging up on the top, which would be the sixth of the chord, also known as the 13th. So you can check my theory lessons for more information on that, and 13th chords, 9th chords, 7 flat 5s, minor 7 flat 5s, all that kind of stuff. Beyond the scope of what we need to worry about today. So that's what's going to be going on in Tuesday, and I will break it all down in the next segment. Let's start then with the chord that we need up here at the 5th fret, our D chord. The finger picking, don't forget, on the D chords is done with 2 fingers and your thumb playing the 4th and 3rd strings in the bass. That's going to happen for our D here, for our 2nd chord, C with D in the bass, and for all of our 1st position D chords as well. So with our hand, at those 3 notes at the 5th and 7th frets, all we have to do is hit the right strings with our right hand. There's not much to this. We're also playing this with a little bit of swing, as opposed to playing it straight, which would sound like this. Here it is with the swing. And again, the difference is that in swing time, the ands, the 8th notes that are written halfway between the beat, are a little bit late. A good real speed for Tuesday is probably around 130. It's probably what I played it at about up at the top of this lesson. For the metronome playthrough, I've got my metronome set at 80, though. That's a nice round number that I like to use pretty regularly for tunes like this. And I'll just run through the whole thing, top to bottom, and hope to get most of the notes right. So 4 beats to count us in, and then join me. 2, 3, 4.